I'm Matt Bishar with NAREIT's REIT.com here in Phoenix, Arizona for REITWise 2015. Joining me is Mark Van Deusen, partner with Hunton Williams. Mark, thanks so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure, Matt.
Now, in past interviews, we've talked a lot about the REIT IPO market, and we saw the large Pinnacle deal last year and are seeing signs of an active pipeline. What do you think is driving or limiting the REIT IPO market?
Well, I think you've got a couple of factors. Traditionally, with a REIT IPO, you're going to have a discount. And for people who are looking to bring a portfolio to market, giving up that portfolio at a discount is an impediment. And I think that's particularly an impediment now where we're in an environment where there is capital coming into real estate, whether that be debt, whether that be private equity, so that makes the private market or the public market a little bit less attractive than it may have been. I think also what you've seen is that as a other avenue to providing new investment vehicles to the markets, which was predominantly what IPOs did, now you have spinoffs. You have companies like Northstar Realty Finance that is going to spin off its European properties. You have Vornado that has already spun off some of its shopping center malls in the Eagle Properties deal. I think you're seeing that the desire for new niche REITs is being met in large part by the spinoff market, and that I think has depressed the vitality of the IPO market. Whether that continues long term, I don't know, but as long as there continues to be a discount that people who have portfolios of real estate that are going to go to the IPO market, I think that's going to be a factor.
Now, you mentioned new REITs. One area where we're starting to see some activity is infrastructure real estate. We've seen a couple in that area. Is that something where you see the REIT vehicle can sort of help fill that?
Absolutely, Matt. And the area where we've seen a lot of interest has been with transmission electric REITs. The InfraREIT IPO, which is the first REIT that we've had in which they have owned electric transmission systems under a long-term lease, and in this case back to the Sherryland utility. That I think is a game changer, and I think there's a real area for REITs to play in that market, because what REITs have been able to do historically is to bring capital to areas of the real estate market that needed it. And our nation's transmission systems need capital. We need to upgrade our electric transmission systems, and I think if we can get over the regulatory issues, not necessarily tax or securities issues, the regulatory issues of bringing electric transmission REITs to market, that's going to be a way that we can bring a lot of capital into that area, which I think our country needs.
Now, is there a legislative issue that you're monitoring that you feel maybe people aren't paying as much attention to as they should be?
For me, it's reform of FIRPTA. It's the Foreign Investment in Real Property Act, which is a huge impediment to bringing foreign capital to the U.S. real estate market, and that's something that NAREIT has been a real leader on. The Senate Finance Committee just passed legislation that would increase the percentage of a publicly traded REIT that a foreign investor could own from 5% to 10%, and I think that would have a huge impact, because the issue with what tax lawyers refer to as FIRPTA is that there's a withholding tax, but also if a foreign investor has income, they also have to file a U.S. tax return. And being subject to the U.S. tax regime is a complete non-starter for a lot of investors. And so I think increasing the limit from 5 to 10% is a big issue, and hopefully, I don't believe it was part of the Senate proposal, but what NAREIT has advocated before is also to allow foreign pension funds to invest in domestically controlled REITs and be outside of the public context and not be subject to the FERPTA regime, and I'm hopeful that will come in some subsequent legislative vehicle.
Mark, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure, Matt.
Great. For more on this and other REIT news and analysis, be sure to visit REIT.com.